Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel where we talk about rare coins, hidden treasures, and collectibles that could be worth a small fortune. Today, we're diving into a truly special coin. When you look closely at your change someday, you might find a 2022 D Wilma Mankiller quarter. Most of these coins are just regular quarters used in stores, parking meters, and vending machines. They're easy to find. There were nearly 300 million minted in Denver. Because there are so many, if you have one that's been used and is a bit worn, it's usually only worth 25 to 40 cents. Even an uncirculated one, straight from the mint, might be worth around 50 cents to a few dollars depending on how perfect it is. But here's the really cool part: some of these quarters are very special. If one is in mint condition with a high grade like MS-67, it could go for as much as $30. Then there was that one extraordinary coin, a 2022 degraded MS-68, that sold for $2,500 at an eBay auction in 2022. What made it so valuable? It was from a release ceremony capsule, meaning it was one of the first ones released by the US Mint. Collectors prize those early coins. To understand why people love these coins, it helps to know who Wilma Mankiller was. She was the first woman elected principal chief of the Cherokee Nation. She fought for her community, improving housing, healthcare, and education. She even won the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1998 for her work on behalf of Native American families. The design of the coin honors her. On the front you have George Washington and the year 2022, and on the back, Mankiller stands brave, wearing traditional Cherokee dress, with stars and writing both in English and Cherokee syllabary. All of that makes the coin meaningful beyond its metal value. Now, collectors are especially excited about error coins, those that the mint accidentally produced with mistakes. It turns out the Wilma Mankiller quarter has more of these surprises than most of the 2022 quarter designs. One common mistake is a retained die break, often called a cud. A piece of the metal die broke but didn't fall away, and when the coin was struck, that area filled in weirdly with extra metal, creating a raised blob on the edge near Washington's head. These rare cud coins often sell for a few $100s, especially if uncirculated. There's one stunning cud error that got a lot of attention online. A version with a dramatic die break and rim distortion sold for $8,300 on eBay in October 2022 after bidding heated up with 78 offers. That shows just how much collectors love a dramatic mistake. Errors on the Wilma Mankiller quarter don't stop there. Some coins show deep vertical cracks called die cracks on the front or back. Others display what collectors call the Scarface and deformed C error, tiny marks on Mankiller's cheek plus a distorted C in the Cherokee writing below Principal Chief. Coins with these kinds of flaws, especially if they're uncirculated, can sell for up to $1,200 or sometimes $1,500, depending on the severity and how collectors value them. There are even more unusual mistakes. A few coins have missing metal layers, a partial collar strike, meaning part of the edge wasn't formed correctly and looks smooth instead of ridged. A user on Reddit shared one with missing reading, and others chimed in calling it a partial collar error, and said it was a neat and rare find. Another Redditor found a coin missing its metal clad layer on the obverse. People were so excited they couldn't find any information on it. He guessed it was a missing clad layer error, and one commenter even said they'd pay around $600 for it. Not everything that looks strange is a real mint error, though. Some oddities are just wear or damage from being in pockets or jars for a long time. One person posted a coin that looked misshapen and people explained that it was just stuck in something or worn down, not a valuable error. Another post joked about, "In COD we trust errors," a funny misprint. Others warned to check what similar coins actually sold for, even though sometimes those can garner hundreds of dollars if rare enough. One heartwarming story came from a 10-year-old kid in Florida who was just looking through his change and found 14 Wilma Mankiller quarters, all with signs of a cud error. That's amazing to think a kid might stumble onto a valuable find from everyday spending. Coin World 11. So if you ever find a 2022 D Wilma Mankiller quarter that looks different, maybe it has a blob on the edge, or a crack, or a misshapen face, or even no ridges on the edge, take a second look. Clean photos help, and you might want to get the coin graded by experts like NGC or PCGS to verify the error and state, which helps you know what it's worth. Putting it all together, most of these quarters are just worth their face value. But if you have one that's in near-perfect mint state, or even more exciting a rare cobalt-grade example, or a cool error like a CUD or Scarface distortion, you could have something that's collector-worthy. Some went for as little as a few dollars, others for thousands. Coins that connect us to important figures like Wilma Mankiller and also have accidental quirks from the mint can be oddly fascinating and surprisingly valuable. So next time you check your change, maybe check that quarter under better light and ask yourself, is this one of those special ones? You might just spot something amazing.